swimming is such a great sport. I mean, I really love it. I wasn't a particularly fit child, I wasn't particularly good at any other sport, but swimming is something I really loved, and it's really lovely to share that passion for swimming that I have and be part of this.
Well, I'm really excited that there's so many people taking part of all abilities, and I think it's great that there's lots of youngsters that can swim with their mums and dads and stuff, and a lot of people have never done this before.
This British Gas Swim Britain initiative is so important. It's a great way to get families but also friends and people involved in swimming.
They're all here to support each other, which is great morale, and hopefully will boost their confidence and self-esteem.
What we want is that in the next few years we want 500,000 people swimming regularly, and the benefits of that are huge.
It's a big challenge, but I think having events like this is really going to make a big difference to that.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Tollcross International Swimming Centre for coverage of the Scottish Gas National Swimming Championships. It's brought to you live and exclusive by Scottish Swimming in partnership with Glasgow Life, Scottish Gas, Speedo and QTV Sports. I'm Drew Gordon and I'll be your guide over the next session and days of the weekend here in Glasgow's East End as the cream of Scotland's swimming talent go for their place on Team Scotland at the Commonwealth Games. We've had a good day one, so let's have I'm delighted to be joined in the commentary again today by Dave Lee, former Commonwealth swimmer at the Melbourne Games. And together we'll be trying to give you a little bit more insight into the world of our sport here in this beautiful facility. So what did you pick up from this morning's swim, Dave?
Well, there's a lot of interesting swims this morning's session. Really think that there was a lot of tactical battles going on. For most people just trying to get themselves into a really good position to do something special tonight. So 200 breaststroke I think is going to be one for me. Ross Murdoch swimming a very controlled race, and Michael Jamieson really showing why he's Olympic medalist. I think that's going to be a real interesting one for tonight.
Okay, let's have a look at this morning session and some of the highlights.
This is a strong effort from Hannah.
2:15. So again, I think this is another point to raise for young swimmers and young coaches. It's about good rehearsal, and if you want to swim as fast as 2:14 point or better, you really need to do a little dress rehearsal in the heats and tell the body where it's going to go. Good professional swim, as you would expect. He is a great competitor, a hungry competitor, but you've still got to come out and put in a professional performance. A nice 3:58, and that heads the meet up at the moment. As Rennick brings it home in 3:56. Lewis in second place with 3:58 and Hamilton in 3:59. Kerry Armitage driving for it, the Hatfield 17-year-old, the Anglo-Scot, looking to have a go at this time. Centre of the pool then, being left by Katie Armitage in the final. That's a 1:10.17. A little bit slow on the first 50. Good strength at the back. Maybe that's the practice that she was undertaking there in the final heat of the 100 breaststroke. Now, Chelsea Lawson of Carnegie entered on 2:14.2. She's really attacked this swim. A little bit of over entry on the arms, that's going across the centre line, but it's a 2:16 at the end of the day. Into the wall, 2:06, 2:07, and a posting of 2:09 in the heats.
It means business, doesn't it?
Very good rehearsal. The power men in the middle coming through. Jamie Graham, Glenn Surgalus on the 50 fly. Surgalus takes the touch, maybe slightly slower than they would want at 24.97, but a good time nevertheless. Yeah, there seems to be a split coming from these morning swims. You know, some are practicing race tactics. You know, the ones at the top are maybe setting up a split time or a part of the race. And others are just cruising a little bit too far off. They're just not into the race.
Yeah, I would think so. You know, you see the most experienced guys really don't tend to waste a race opportunity, you know. You have to learn something from it. There's no point in these guys coming to their national championships and just making it into the final.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way that you know, Michael set himself up. It looks like a 61.5 split time, and then he might go for it this evening.
Yeah, I think he would have been putting a pretty solid effort together this morning. Ross Murdoch did the exact opposite. I think actually what Michael did was a little bit more of a smarter move for me, because it gives you a much more accurate reflection of what he's going to be able to practice tonight, rather than
exactly, you know,
dossing out in the first 100 and then coming home strong. Yeah, that's quite easy. I'll be interested to see what happens when he has to crank it up tonight.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks, Dave. Now, this week's championship has as much to do with you at home as it does the Summers here. And we want you to play your part by making this event the best and the biggest ever for Scottish Championships. To have a say in that, you can tweet us using the hashtag SGNC2014. Find us also on Facebook at facebook.com/Scottish Swimming. And wherever you are in the world, if you're swimming, take a picture and Instagram it in using the same hashtag SGNC2014. All of this social media stuff is part of Scottish Swimming's commitment to bringing you the most exciting and engaging coverage of the National Championships and Commonwealth Trials this weekend. And all of this weekend's live coverage will be available for catch-up on the Scottish Swimming YouTube channel. So if you'd like to keep up with all the latest Scottish Swimming video content, here is how you do it.
Welcome to Scottish Swimming's official YouTube channel. No matter if you compete or participate in swimming, disability swimming, diving, synchro, open water, water polo or masters, if you're a teacher, tutor or coach, or simply interested in what we're up to, this is the place to find it, from wherever you are in the world. On our channel, you can watch our key events live or on demand, or simply the highlights afterwards. All for free 24/7. If you subscribe, you'll not miss any new videos. So what are you waiting for?
So there you go, folks. Get on YouTube to watch all 12 sessions from the championships. Well, 4 down, so it's only 8 left. And get tweeting, because we've had some really interesting messages, but I'm sure you could do better out there. We'll read the best as we go through the weekend. Now, we've got a chance to look at something that's coming up in this month, another event by Scottish Swimming, hosted up in Aberdeen, and that's the Commonwealth Games water polo.
So if you're in Aberdeen, 5th to 12th of April, come along, Aberdeen Sports Village. For more information at scottishswimming.com/CWPC 2014.
Well, the officials are getting into place. Crowd slightly lighter in the afternoon. All the main swimmers away, and parents are looking after them, getting the rest. And you know, swimming is a great sport for keeping people in it. There in the centre, there with the glasses and the blue folder, that's Carol Lewis, former butterfly swimmer from Fife. And here she is, putting a lot back into the sport, but in a different capacity. That's nice to see, and it's always lovely to have the family of swimming around these national championships. Just helps keep everything very friendly, very low key, and take a lot of the pressure off the swimmers, because these officials, some of them, know what it's like to be a competitor. So we have the same events from this morning: 200 IM, 400 free, 100 breast, 100 back, 200 back, 200 breast, women's 50 free, men's 50 fly, and then we have the men's 4x200 heat number 1. Second heat will be swum in the evening. The whole event there is a timed final where they rank the team swims and decide the winners. So, nice little session. Swimmers ready for heat number 1. Women's 200 IM. The 4 strokes on show: fly back, breast and freestyle. 3 heats in this afternoon session. 6 swimmers in the field. Entered on 2:36, 2:37. Let's hope they can all get down to that and get a little bit more racing. That's maybe early doors to comment, Dave, but I just feel that there's not enough racing in these championships, you know.
Yeah, definitely. You always want to be trying to come out of your heat on top. You'll be aware of where the other swimmers are. Even a 200-meter event, no, it takes a little bit of tactics to it. You can't just go for the win straight from the gun. You've got to swim to your strengths. Robin Crawford swimming a real strong fly leg.
Just like to see a few more swimmers shoulder to shoulder with a partner. You know, their events, of course, it's long course and it often spreads the field out. But you know, if you're going to get a good time, even in these what they are termed slower heats, it's maybe a little bit of an insult to them. They're all working at their personal best and as fast as they possibly can go. But just like to see more, you know, competitive racing, that sort of gladiatorial, you know, feel that you're racing against somebody, and the two of you are helped to a better swim. So, the 200 IM.
Yeah, Robin Crawford just maybe handing over the lead there. Maybe not so strong on the breaststroke, but a good start by Robin Crawford. Taking over the lead, Ali Morrison from Dundee City. Real strong breaststroke.
Isn't half, is it?
Yeah. You see that, don't you, Drew? Just sometimes the breaststroke leg on the IM, especially in the early heats, splits splits the group quite a lot.
Yeah, I think also you find that in age groupers, you know, in the young age groupers, they just still have that power to weight ratio in the breaststroke and can do it, you know, it's just as light as a feather.
Yeah, you can't really afford to have only 3 strong strokes on the medley. You can't afford to have the breaststroke weakness.
So, apart from Ali Morrison destroying that race in both manners, taking out a very, very strong lead, head down into the finish. Oh, good. 5 whole strokes into the wall for the finish. 2:34.38. She came here with a 2:36.26 entry time, probably for her a short course conversion, which means it's, you know, slightly faster and more difficult to match when you get here to the competition. So, a 2:34 for the afternoon heats. Now, from these heats, it is actually possible to make it into a B or an A final if you swim the good time. So it isn't all over yet, but there's not a very high expectation that many will do it. But we had yesterday 1 or 2 who cracked into a B final, and that's good. And it still keeps an edge on these afternoon heats. Over the top starting, just remind you, top of the screen, lane 0, bottom of the screen, lane 9. All 10 lanes of this marvellous facility being used in the heats and the finals. So there's 10 opportunities to make it into a final, and with an A and B final, you can do the arithmetic. Lots of places available for a second swim. And of course the Scottish Championships, one of those unusual events where you swim heats in the morning, finals at night. There's no semi-final situation.
Sally Mayer taking this one out. Real strong leg on the butterfly. 32.0 at the split. So she will take that lead into the backstroke leg. Really got to keep working, keep that tempo, and keep her head still and keep her head high. Feet maybe dropping just a fraction.
Yeah, slightly taller swimmers across the pool. Sally looks quite small, quite squat, and taller, rangier swimmers, and slightly higher tempo swimmers just coming through on the backstroke. 112 on the split. Some not getting much distance off the wall. Powerful looking breaststroke coming in lane 3, Dave.
Yeah, really high stroke. Nice and neat and tidy, really using the leg drive. I think Sally Mayer's coming back into the fold though. Maybe just struggled on that backstroke, but certainly seems strong on the breast.
Yeah, well, we know where the weakness is, don't we? It's a very clean breaststroke, good length, and good just waiting on that power off the legs, coming to the point where her hands must strike. Good control. 3 swimmers then across the pool. Have they had a look? Do they know where they are? Looking better across the line. Good race on the freestyle now. Sally Mayer, early leader, dropped it on the back, picked it up in the breast, coming home in the freestyle.
Yeah, Sally, she's going to get a good look at these with her breathing to the right there, so she'll see all the way down the pool. She'll know where those other swimmers are, and she'll just be trying to work ahead as much as possible.
Over there in 1, that's the Lorna Milligan, Nova Centurion. She swam this morning. Now back in for other events in the afternoon heats. And the touch still being held by Sally Mayer. 2:34.39, just about the same swim as the previous heat. So good racing. There's Sally after that swim. And the results confirmed, clear on the board. Mayer 2:34, Story 2:35, and Damon 2:35.5. Milligan also with a 2:35 over in lane 0. So final heat of the medley. It's the final heat of the whole event because the 5 in the morning count and these 3. You've got in here Kitty Price at 2:32, Anglo-Scot from Alsager, up there in the northwest. Well, a little bit behind on the butterfly there in lane 3, Heather Mulvaney of Coast. A lot to make up, but maybe the other strokes are that little bit stronger than the butterfly. All together on the backstroke.
Alex Cunningham coming through from East Lothian. Nice high tempo, really attacking this backstroke leg. They're going to be trying to spot the flags as they pass them. They'll see those flags and they'll be trying to time the touch to the wall without having to look beforehand. Yeah, pretty good. Nobody looking round. Have the turn judges at each end of the pool. So on the fly leg, they'll be making sure that they touch both hands evenly at the same time. Same on the breaststroke. Must have both hands on the wall at the same time. So you'll notice the judges at the end of the pool just making sure that happens.
A nice breaststroke leg in lane 8 from Cara Hanlon from Highland. Streaking through to the lead on the breaststroke. Really good technique there. That looks a very good prospect. 16 years of age into the freestyle, and you can see from the hard breaststroke, not quite the super strong freestyle, and the attack coming from the middle of the pool. Lane 6, Mary Swanson. Lane 4, Kitty Pearce with that 2:32. They're going to close in on her in the last 10 metres. Yeah, that's what we call racing. Also, over there, Katie Robertson in lane 0. Don't forget about her in the top 3 places. And just hanging on, Cara Hanlon, 2:31.97. 2:34 entry. So we hope that's a really nice personal best time for Cara.
Saw her in the 100-metre breaststroke heats earlier on, Drew. Obviously a real breaststroke talent there from Cara.
So 2:31s at the top, a couple of 33s and then 34. So all 3 heats round about the same time. Not a lot across all the summers, the 25 to 30 summers in these afternoon heats. .244 out at the end, Orla Edwards. But 2:31.97 is 1/100th faster than everybody else. So good swimming, right on the mark for most of them. So a good start to the afternoon in the 200 IM. Well, I hope our boss is not watching on YouTube, although she does look as if she's covering the pool well, as the officials just have a little chat about things. And we're now on to the men's 400-metre freestyle event. 5 heats in this afternoon programme. In heat 1, the lane 4 time in the centre of the pool, the fastest of all the times listed in this block of times is 4:32.73, but it's marginally ahead of the other swimmers who are on 4:33. So again, if they swim to their form and the entry, and they're all ready to go, what we want is all the swimmers to be swimming in a line, racing each other and bringing it home in a time faster than 4:32. However, it's a sport, it's a human performance, so there will be errors in both directions. Very positive in success, and there'll be some people who are not really ready, or they've had some problem as they come to their event. Good start though.
Yeah, very strong from the guys in the middle. Two boys all the way from Delting. Ian Leach at 14 years old, Gregor Moore. Delting, is that Shetland? True.
Pass.
Good start nonetheless in the middle. Just want to make sure these guys set the rhythm out for the rest of the race. Really don't want to go out too hard at the start of this race. Done it many times myself, and it's not a fun thing to happen.
I'm searching my memory for a Dave Leith 400 free.
Oh, I've done them. I've done them.
Good, good. I see they were burned into your memory.
Yep. Sure were. You got to get around that feeling though, as these guys will be swimming. There's a time where you start to panic a little bit and you think, uh-oh. You've got to be able to go through it. Ian Leach doing a pretty good job leading us out. Starting to be challenged now over in lane 2.
Yeah, lane 4, Ian Leach. Now, most of the modern day swimmers use a 6-beat leg kick in the 400. Leach, if you get a chance to be ready for the high camera view, you'll see that there's hardly any leg. It's just a little balance kick at the back, a little up and down movement because of the alternating action of the arms. Breathing every 2 to the right, going through in 2:11. And because it's side breathing action, you can see that the left arm is slightly lower as he turns his head and lifts the right arm a little higher to clear the mouth and head face for breathing. Metronomic, very little leg kick, and he could bring that in at the end of the race if he finds himself in a tough battle. Across there in lane 1, it's Kieran Mullins of South Lanark and having a battle with Duncan McKinney of Glasgow. They're shoulder to shoulder, and that's the kind of race that you want. And they're actually moving up on the leader, or certainly staying with him. Duncan McKinney at 13, doing very well to hold his own in this race pace.
Yeah, you can really see those two guys up at the top of the picture, really not wanting to let anybody get away from them. Yeah, ignorance of youth sometimes, you know. They don't really care. They just see somebody going and they think, yep, I'm beating that guy. So you can see those two really feeding off each other up at the top.
And that's the benefit of little race condition within the actual swim or the race itself. Leach still holding on to that narrow lead. The rest of the field scattered a little bit, some 10 metres behind. A line across the pool for the 6th and 7th, but it's a good race up front. And young McKinney looking across at the winner. In on a 4:32, 4:33, these guys. Digging hard. And that little race environment, I think, has just produced something a little bit special for them. And at the end, Leach is under real pressure from this young upstart, this 13-year-old. Leach hanging on, 4:29.7. And McKinney, 4:29.9. Good little race, that.
Yeah, great race. Really nice to see those guys just wanting to beat the guy in the lane next to them.
Yeah, I did think there would be more of that in the morning session. That there'd be, you know, that kind of individual challenge with the person next door or right beside you. But quite often the field has spread, especially from 200 upwards. So Leach and McKinney starting us off with a 4:29. Heat 2, the 15-year-old Ross McPherson from South Lanark. 4:30 entry time in the middle of the pool. Jordan Curtis in 7th from Kinross, and a very strong start in lane 9, Callum Smith of Carnegie. Again, good control and very comfortable in the water. The drive, couple of fly kicks on his side, and then eases on to the front and back up into work mode, into the freestyle position. So you were saying you did a little bit of coaching, and so how do you like the freestyle swim? Is there any particular?
Yeah, but I think it depends on a lot of things. You mentioned earlier the 6-beat kick. Some athletes, I think, are better off to try to build a bit more of a tempo with the arms. And if there's a 6-beat kick, sometimes it can just slow it down a little bit. But I think, in general, to begin with, I think bilateral breathing's a good way to go with a very still head. And try to make the breathing pattern as much as possible so that you're not lifting your whole head out the water. You're just taking a little snatch of air so it doesn't interrupt your rhythm too much.
Yeah, as the head moves through the water, it creates a little wave in front of it, the bow wave. And in behind the bow wave, there's a little trough, and that's where the swimmer's face goes into. And that's a good point you make, just to minimally turn the head to get into a position to get the air in.
Had a really good shot of that, what you were just saying there, Drew. Just on lane 9 there. Callum Smith, a really good shot of that bow wave and just trying to hold that breathing just within that.
2:09 on the way through. 2:11 from the previous heat, so certainly giving himself a chance to go under. Smith in on 4:32.7. Way ahead of the entry times, but now with a later challenge in the second half, we see the appearance in lane 2 of Sam Andrews of West Lothian, 16-year-old, again on a 4:30. Smith just tiring a little, not quite coming off the wall as positively. And now a clear new leader.
Yeah, Sam Andrews put in a real burst of speed there in this third 100. Really separated himself out from the field. He must have got to 200 and just thought, yeah, feeling pretty good. Just turn it up a little bit. Hope he's not gone too early, but he looks pretty good at the moment.
So he must have been about a 2:10 at the halfway mark and a 3:16. So a good time in prospect if he could just hold on here.
Yeah, definitely under that 4:30 entry time for sure.
Now coming through in 4, Ross McPherson, 4:30 entry time. The leader in terms of the seeding, and streaking away from the middle of this field. Just hitting the pad at the same time as Smith in lane 9. And then a number of swimmers who have got a little bit left in the tank and hoping to come back just super fast. But Sam Andrews, very long reach, tall, rangy swimmer.
Yeah, swam a really nice race here. The way that he's paced it, going to finish really strong.
digging in, mid-20s. Lovely, 4:25.04. That is a good swim indeed off his 4:30. Whichever way he's got the 4:30. Short course conversion or another long course time in the season. Andrews first at 4:25. McPherson on 4:27.3. Jordan 4:28.47. Took the third in a close finish with Smith, who was one of the early leaders. Ended up with 4:28. Heat number 3 of the 5 on the afternoon programme then. Men's 400 freestyle. Again, staying with the teenagers, 14, 15, 16-year-olds in this particular heat. Vincent Yuzakis of Stirling, the 15-year-old, 4:26.8. He's just seen that 4:25, and that's an immediate challenge if he's managed to register that from the previous heat. A few guys on 4:27, out to 4:29, all sub 30 in the entry time on the programme, and it's now about converting that. And you can see that in all the heats, the first 100 is very easy and easy to stay close to the race. Only lane 6, Keelan Doyle of North Lanark, just drifting away from the race pace. Well, 1:00.18 on the first split. That's a commitment.
Yeah, that's a very fast split for Jozachis. Committing himself early doors. With a 1 minute split, you'd expect him to be away under that 4:26 entry time. Looks very good at the moment. Also going strong, 3 or 4 other guys in the mix. Lane 7, James Collier from Carnegie. Nice high elbow recovery. Make sure his arms are as relaxed as possible when they're out of the water. And that his hand can get into a really nice position to catch the water. Sometimes you see, we mentioned it yesterday, sometimes you think some of the guys from the same club have got kind of similar strokes. He looks a little bit like Mark Sharanek in his technique.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a very good thing. Done a good job there. Coach John Sharanek. Done some good work on the skills of those swimmers. But 2:05 at the halfway for Jozachis. Really commit himself early doors.
Well, the pace changing quite considerably. Jozachis really working. It's just whether he can hold this or not. And 4 swimmers in a line for second place. Looking across the pool, just getting the best of it at the moment in lane 3. Ewan McComish of South Lanark just edging ahead of 3 others. Fraser Meadows, Scott Griffin, Keelan Doyle, and also staying with the race, Oscar Held in lane 8, the Elgin swimmer. But they're well down from the leader as he turns on 3:15.
Just having a wee look at the clock, I thought he did there as he came off that 300-metre wall. You're doing fine.
It's a bit difficult, isn't it?
Just keep going. Yeah.
It's like a pantomime. It's behind you.
The clock's still running. You don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, turning 3:49. Okay, let's bring it back now. Vincent, 4:26.8 entry time. Just starting to tire ever so slightly. The entry's a bit shorter, not the same flow to the stroke, but he's working hard. He's beating that fatigue. Strong finish from McComish. And three swimmers over here in 7, 8 and 9 all together as they bring this 400 home. 4:22.5. .67 last split, and well, doing a good job. A couple of swimmers right off their pace. No names, no pack draw. You know them, they're here. You'll see them in the lists. That should have been a 4:29 and better from that field. And there's how it turned out. 22 for first to Yosatis. McComish 4:27 for second place. And Collier 4:29 alongside Stewart on that time, 4:29 high. Heat number 4. Aaron Stowe of Fife. Angus Cameron of Stirling. Alistair Robertson of Aberdeen. Callum Archibald of Warrender and George Clough of Warrender. Clough with the 4:22.4, just slightly faster entry time. Tom Bealey of Aberdeen, good 1500 yesterday. Ellis Lawson, 15-year-old from first group. It's the Falkirk-based group. Callum McCall of Delting, Ryan Buchanan, North Lanark, and James Murphy, Ren 96. Now starting to look at 4:22 out to 4:26, 4:27. And we've seen a number of swimmers, when they come to the 400 long course, it just catches them out a little bit. I think it's a really tough swim. It's where the meld, the balance, the mix of, you know, speed and endurance is really put to the test. And then, of course, you factor in a human being making decisions about energy expenditure, the technique, and all of these factors playing its part. And when it's round about, you know, 3.5 minutes to 4.5 minutes, you know, you've got a lot of things going on for a long period of time. Really interesting race, the 400.
Yeah, had a coach that used to say that the 400 short course was probably more akin to the 200 long course. Find that you find some swimmers that could put a really strong 400 short course together and a really decent long course 200, but maybe struggle with the 400 in the long course pool.
An interesting one for you to ponder, folks. Well, a breakout to the 200 in lane 3. Callum Archibald of Warrender, not messing about, 2:06.4.
Yeah, he's taking an early lead. The two guys in the middle, Tom Bealey, George Clough, only 14 years old. Real nice technical swimmers, both those guys. Callum Archibald, though, really stretching his lead out. You'd expect him, if he can hold it together, to get close to breaking through that 420 into the teens.
Good power legs off the drive, and then he waits, then he kicks in a fly and brings him out about 6 meters, 7 meters where the head resurfaces, and that's good. He's not tallest of swimmers. You can see the range of the swimmer in lane 5. Tom Bealey just getting the better of Clough at the moment. Also hovering in 6, Ellis Lawson of first. So good tactics at the front of this heat. The arrowhead exaggerated from the middle outwards, but spoiling the perfect design. Callum Archibald, a 17-year-old from Warrender, Just getting into the last section of the meet, but look at lane 5. Tom Bealey stalking, cutting that distance.
Just picked up his rate a wee bit, Tom. Starting to look really, really strong.
Again, 8 metres off the wall for Archibald. And now he's seen the danger. He's got into the last 50 and always finds something deep within you to pick it up. But a real sprint finish from Bealey. Far too much energy, son. I'm sorry. Coming back, George Clough in lane 4. Not letting it go, but well, those two in the middle left it far too late as Archibald brings them home in 4:20.58. Well, he nearly met your prediction, Dave. 4:20.58 in heat 4. One more to go. And over there in lane 1, Angus Cameron of Stirling just bringing us in. Guys already chatting about the race. Check the times. They'll know each other well. And the event cleared. Archibald 4:20, Bealey 4:23. Tight finish with Clough 4:23.2. And then it went out to 28 with Ellis Lawson. So 4:20 leading the afternoon heat programme. Okay, this completes the championship 400 freestyle event. No Summer in lane 3. Your lineup: Robbie Moore of Highland in 0. Toby Douglas from Best in lane 1. James Stephen of First in lane 2. Cameron Finliness, Heart of Midlothian, with the 4:19.5, the best of the afternoon entries. Jeremy Scott Warner in 5. Martin McInnes, Glasgow in 6. Mark McRae, South Lanark in 7. Patrick Smith, South Ayrshire. And Fraser Reid of Carnegie in lane 9. That's the field. Lane 4, Cameron Finlayson, Heart of Midlothian. Just taking it out to the 100. Just going under. 59.81 by Moore over there in lane 0. Sneaking an outside smoker swim.
Yeah, we've seen it a few times this week so far already, is that those outside lanes 0 and 9 sometimes leaves you no option but just to get out there and go for it, you know. You do not want to get swamped out there. You'll just get lost. You can't see anything. So maybe it's just a deliberate thing that Robbie's just gone for this right from the start. He looks smooth though, he looks strong. Doesn't look like he's over kicking or too high a rate at this point. Cameron Finlayson also looking really good in the middle.
Yeah, it's interesting that when you compare the two, and it's maybe not so easy on the actual monitor because you're not close enough, but you've got Finlayson in the middle who seems to jerk into the breathing action, and Robbie Moore is just as smooth as silk out there.
Yeah, he is very, very smooth. Nice and relaxed. Lovely swimmer to watch.
Well, they're across the pool, looking at each other. Maybe with nothing between them, they have a chance to see something across the pool.
Yeah, Cameron, for me, maybe we just picked it up a little bit there. But it's the deliberate tactic on that third 100 just to start picking it up a little bit.
Well, the rest of the field They are together in a band across the pool, but they're well back from the lead. A mixture of swims. Lane 5, Jeremy Scott warned her, 4:20 entered. But he's looks as if he's struggling a little bit this afternoon. Don't like to see that, but obviously that's going to happen. Not everybody is just going to get the ideal swim off the preparation. And Finlayson, well, really started to work and stretch a gap over that 100 metres. He's just opened up a huge gap on this 400.
Yeah, he's looking great actually. Skill's good. Nice kick, lots of energy. Really motoring for home. This is going to be a great swim. Look at him go. He'll be way under that.
16-year-old, something like a 10-year-old there.
Yeah.
You just see the arms. But it just shows that he's been coached to keep the stroke long during the pace swim, and then when you bring it back, you've got to shorten it up because you're going to go faster. And that's the natural reaction. So Finlayson, 4:13.7. What a swim by Cameron Finlayson, Heart of Midlothian. Very respectable indeed. An amazing improvement. Second place was still held by Robbie Moore over there in lane 0, but he was out at 4:23 at the end of the day. So heat completed. Much easier to clear all the technical turns, etc. There you see it. Finlayson's 4:13 wins the afternoon heats programme. Moore second, 4:23.7, in a tight finish eventually with McInnes at 4:23.85. Well, good day at the office for Cameron Finlayson in the 400 freestyle. A 4:13 to take away in the kit bag. Nice job. And well, from those strong, hard finishes on the 400 freestyle, we move to the more leisurely 100 breaststroke for women. Next event up on the programme. In this, we have 6 heats. Still very popular, I see. We're going right out to Heather Lees, the 14-year-old, with a 1:20 entry. This morning we saw some good swims in the faster heats. A couple of the nomination times being struck. Now all they've got to do is repeat that or better in the A final. But, well, good for the women's breaststroke. In here, of course, you've got 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds. And at this stage, obviously, the body's physical development plays such an important part as it changes over the years, through the teenage years. And sometimes you have to wait until you're a fully fledged adult before you have the best, the most ideal shape, weight, power, strength, leanness, etc. And sometimes it, well, strikes when you're younger. What always flips up on the breaststroke for me, a 13-year-old, Iwasaki, Barcelona Olympics, came, won the gold medal in the 200 breaststroke at 13, went away, never heard of her again.
Job done, I suppose.
That's it. just absolutely the perfect power weight ratio, technique, and paid off in the Olympic final in the 200.
Very graceful, these young swimmers. Not too much power to mess the stroke up too much.
Well, do you know in club galas, in the past, there used to be a graceful swimming event.
Yeah, I used to do it.
Oh!
Was it? I never won.
Ah, nobody believed you for the rest of your life. I see, right. Graceful swimming. Hey, how about that? Lovely. Okay, heat number 1 then. It's a touch. Just a touch for Jess Black. Coming from Mulgyan Bearsden, 15 years of age, 125.8. Strikes with a 124.6. 100 breaststroke. It's cleared 24, 25, 25 for Black, Duthie and Ernie Out, respectively. Very tight finish, that's good, good racing, but it was across the pool. Heat number 2. Kiana McInnes, Heart of Midlothian, 12 years of age, with a 124.9. Katie Lilly, South Lanark, 12-year-old in lane number 1. And up against a 16-year-old in lane 8 in the form of Lindsay McInnes from the city of Aberdeen.
Yeah, Kiana McInnes really gone out for this. Only 12 years old. Just had to adjust a wee bit coming into the wall.
Nice spot and nice adjustment from Kiana. Good girl.
Some of the other girls starting to come back on her though a little bit. Erin Snow starting to work up through the field. Looking good. Still got a high tempo.
Erin in 12-year-old South Lanark in lane 7. And can see there the head bobbing. Wants to eliminate that. Just focus all the effort on legs and arms and the body movement in conjunction with that. But at this stage, that's the way it goes. It's like the bobbing dog in the back of the car. 122.92. Nice improvement. Heat 3 sees Bobby Gregg back in action. She was busy yesterday, 13 years of age. South Lanark, 124.17. Next door she has her teammate, Emma Kennedy. And in 5, Anna Rothney, all the way down from Orkney, the 17-year-old, in amongst the youngsters. Four 13-year-olds in the field. Sophie Hamilton, Bobby Gregg, Abby Mitchell in 8 and Ashley Howells, city of Derby, Anglo-Scot, 124.82 in lane 9. Good racing in the 100 breaststroke here, all in a line, and they'll feel the others and get a chance just to take something from that. Some working long and strong, and others it's just about the turnover, very high. But keeping it going, because at this age you sometimes can.
Yeah, starting to come through. Lane 4, Bobby Gregg. Sally Mayer looking strong as well. Completely different techniques, but both looking good, effective.
So final 5, slight adjustment, make sure you're on the maximum stretch, register your finish positively on the pad. The touch going to Bobby Gregg in 122.43. Looks like another improvement, at least for the leader. So halfway through the afternoon heats. We're still staying around the 23-24 mark for the next heat. Erica Boutel of West Dumbarton, a 16-year-old in lane 4 for this next heat. A 13-year-old in lane 5 and in lane 9 again. So the 13-year-olds still mixing it with the older teenagers as we move through the standard.
As you well know, Drew, I think all these girls will be developing at very different ages and stages. It's not often just a predictor of development, just the age. You might find some of the 13-year-olds are a little bigger, a little stronger than some of the 15-year-olds sometimes. Not often, but you do see it. All in a line here, 2 more guys swimmers. Obviously train together, turning together at the 50. Holly Wicklow and Emma Williams. Very different techniques. Just need to keep that working.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it actually on the screen, but as Holly Wicklow drives the legs, the hands open up and separate and just leaves that little U shape at the front and creates a lot of drag from the chest and shoulders. But powering in the last 15. Lane 4, Erica Boutel. Little machine there, just relentlessly going through that. 121.6. She's entered on 123.2, so again, hopefully, we're getting good improvements there for everybody. You can see that when you see the close field from that heat. There you are, 27, 21, 6 seconds covering the field. Boutel, Wicklow, Williams, 1, 2, and 3, but it was very tight. Heat 5. Chloe O'Hara, North Lanark, 121.8 in the pole lane, lane 4. Hannah Ellison in 5 for Isle of Man. And for me, it's interesting, Dave, to see the clubs that are listed. And you can tell the ones that are sort of age group and early development, and the ones that have got maybe a deeper squad, and you know, they've got summers all over the place.
Yeah, there is an obvious divide between the morning and the afternoon heats, I would say. The same clubs producing a lot of young kids, doing a lot of different events. Slightly different clubs from the ones that you're seeing with some of the maybe top older seniors.
Yeah, some of the smaller clubs are coming in here, you know. Heart of Midlothian, Afford, you know. Good age groupers. Now that yellow hat with the black writing over there. In lane 2, Anna Balfour, 13-year-old from East Lothian. Just holding on to a slight lead. You can see that the summer in lane 4, Chloe O'Hara, just struggling a little bit to keep a nice flowing tempo. Good leg drive, but needs to keep that going. And there's a definite pause in the stroke. She comes through to take the event, but very, very close finish. 122.5. And really, that's breaking the pattern a little bit, as she was entered on a 121.8. So slightly slower than entry at the lead. Be 1 or 2 PBs across that field. O'Hara 122.5, Balfour 122.8, Story 122.9 for a tight 1-2-3 finish. The last heat of the women's 100 breaststroke event. Very quick into the stroke there. Lane 5, Warrender's Iona Hamilton. But very powerful dive. It took her well out ahead of the field. But a nice little stroke up there in lane number 1. Anne Hutchison from Lerwick, 15 years of age. Nice and smooth. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Look at that technique. Lovely, smooth and still. Nice and simple movement.
Just wonder that, you know, if she could convert that, instead of lifting out the water and pulling back, if she could keep that on a more undulating, rolling forward pattern.
Yeah.
A lot of power there.
Yeah, upper part of her back becomes very upright.
Yeah.
Almost vertical.
Maybe if she tried the dropping of the head technique on the forward drive. But there she goes. Never stopping or changing. Not a powerful dive, but Hutchison keeping it going to a 1:19.05 finish in the breaststroke. Good for her. Came here with a 1:21.1 entry time. Nice thing to take back. 1:19, least second, 1:20. Patterson in a tight finish just went to 1:23.4 for the 1, 2 and 3.
A little bit different, Drew, I know, but can you remember how many strokes Ross Murdoch did in that 200 breaststroke in one lane?
12.
12 strokes. I counted 5 strokes in the last 5 meters there.
Yeah, that's good. That's from one end of the spectrum to the other, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very different, obviously. From 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds, 100 breaststroke through to the men. But
yes, she has done the job. 15-year-old Anne Hutchison. Nice, clean technique. But there's possibilities there of 1 or 2 experiments and a little changing. Good to see her convert that into a little more fluent propulsion through the breaststroke.
you know what I suggest somebody tries if you ever go for a swim? Any recreational swimmers watching right now? If you get access to a long course pool, or even a short course pool, swim 50 meters and give yourself 13 strokes only and see how far you can get. If you can get 50 meters, I'd be very impressed.
This is breaststroke, I assume?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Got that, 13 breaststroke cycles. Next event up, the men's 100-meter backstroke. 6 heats. Moving from 106 down to 103. Again, Cameron Finlayson, after that excellent 400, coming back in on the backstroke. The Heart of Midlothian swimmer, the fastest entry from the afternoon heats. So, what they're doing from 63-64 is trying to get right down close to the minute mark. So some swimmers through in the 6th lane warm-up swim down pool. They'll be doing some might be doing a little bit of training, some will just be stretching out, and some are maybe preparing for the relays, especially those that have come off the morning heats. As we just have that slight pause. And the first athletes, those young gladiators at 14, 15. Oh, there's a 19-year-old in this field from Newcastle. 100 backstroke.
Very fortunate now to have 2 50-meter pools in the same building here.
Okay.
Wasn't so long ago that we didn't have more than one in the whole country.
Oh, there. Now, this morning and this afternoon, we have some young spectators who have these, they're called thunder sticks. to make a lot of noise and get a bit of atmosphere. So if you hear that strange noise in the background of our audio transmission, you now have an explanation. And off they go, these spectators in front of me. Good, giving a lot of good support. Men's 100 backstroke. Callum Mackay of Warnder on a 106.9 in lane 4. Just off the race pace in this first 25. You can see there a very careful placing of the hand in lane 5 by James McFarlane of West Lothian. Being very careful on the entry. And driving up there into Ewan McComish, South Lanark, the 14-year-old. Just getting an early touch on the 50 split, 32.35.
Yeah, looking very strong off the walls. Two guys in the outside lanes with swimmers in it. For me, Callum Mackay. Looking very strong, as is McFarlane lane next to him. Nice and smooth.
Just Mackay gave it away at the beginning, didn't he? Just no start and too casual in the first 25. A very determined effort here, not knowing anywhere where he was. He's, well, you get the prize for probably the worst finish we've seen so far. It's only day 2, and I'm sure you'll be overtaken in the league of bad finishes. But, well, he had no idea where he was. And lost the advantage of reaching back and stopping the clock with a hand. But your head can do. It'll work. As long as you're on your back. 106.93 then to that finish from McComish. Carnegie in second place with 107, and Scott with a 108.05 took the third place in the first heat. Second heat, Liam Buchanan of North Lanark, 15 years of age, 106.5, very close to the entry times of the previous heat, and a whole load of 6s in this field. No swimmer in lane 7 though on this swim. Fraser Gill of West Lothian is out. Now the danger for these young athletes, although Fraser McCain over in lane 0 is 20 years of age against the 15-year-old in lane 4. But you just can't whirl your arms as quick as you like. There's a whole set of stuff happening under the water. The entry, the catch of the water to lever the body forward. There's the tracking path of that hand. There's the rolling of the body. Then the exit. Then the recovery. And if you think you can just whirl your arms and go forward, well, a little mistaken understanding the physics of swimming.
Callum McCall coming through real strong in lane 9. Again in the outside lanes, is he going to take it? Yep. 106.24 for Callum McCall. Jamie Murray in second. And Fraser McCain on the outside lane getting the third place. Hamish Milne, I'd imagine brother of Stephen, if they're both from Perth City. Yep.
Well, tight finish, 0 and 9. McCall took it in 6.24. Murray with a 6.35 and McCain on 6.85 made it a very tight finish.
Well, if you remember, Drew, they used to have the markers at 15 metres as well. They had the rope across the top at 15 metres so you could see. And for those of you who remember the great Adam Rockwood, Olympian and ex-British record holder, saw him once swim in a race where he turned at the 15-metre flags. You'll remember that one.
Okay, driving on with heat number 3 then. Logan Jemison all the way from Lerwick, the 15-year-old, 106 flat in lane 4. Comes down to the central belt and gets challenged. In 3, Daniel Gibson, City of Aberdeen, Craig Nisbet, in 5. And again, a good swim in lane 8, Alec Forsyth of West Lothian. A clear lead at the 50. Butterfly, very early with the left arm, and when he did that, you know, he was still underwater. So it was really a waste of a stroke.
Yeah, he's got plenty of tempo. He's got plenty of tempo and plenty of effort. Just needs to tidy up his skills a wee bit. He's too close to that lane rope. He doesn't know where he is, I don't think.
No, and if he didn't feel that, he should move across. But it's a very strong finish then in lane 3 for Daniel, Daniel Gibson. He takes it. Oh, the touch going out at lane 8, 105.6. He managed to hold on. Oh, making me a liar. There you go. 105.6, 105.64. 4 100s in it. Different lanes, separate swims. Forsyth 105.6, Robbins 105.62, very tight finish for first, and Gibson on a 105.64. Again, blanket finish, but across the pool, not next door to each other.
It was a good swim from Alex there, but he could knock so much off just by tidying that swim up without being any fitter or stronger or anything.
Yeah. Good point. Well, these young men pushing through the 100 backstroke. We're at heat 4 of the 6 this afternoon. Again, a 14-year-old Tom Bealey back in the water from Aberdeen, 104.9. Remember, 5s from the last heat, and they entered on 6. Here's a 4 and a couple of 5s here. A lot of 5s here in this heat 4. Whoa, over there in lane 2, Thomas Farrell of Fife Performance. Well, certainly with a very high stroke rate. Now, to do that, you're either very strong with the hold that you have, or you're slipping a lot of water, but you've got this energy and method of swimming. Not a lot out of the turn. Came up very sharp, but very strong lead. Now he just needs to press it home. 25 to go, the field coming towards him.
Yeah, big lead. Just needs to hold the length of his stroke. Keep working. Field's coming back at him. Particularly lane 5, Liam Spooner.
What's he doing? He seems to have changed altogether. Could lose this. And he did. Lambert out-touched him again by 2 100s. That was a real chance of a super time there, Dave.
Yeah, Liam Spooner disqualified. I thought that he was way beyond the 15-metre marker on the first, after the start, underwater. He went way too far. Only 15 metres allowed.
Well, a very strange heat. A disqualification at the start. Clear lead by Farrell, and then at about 80 metres, he just slowed down. And in came, fast tracking, Lambert. 104.34, a 200 victory to Lambert over Farrell. And Kincart took the tight touch of 104.99 for third place. Spooner DQ'd on the start. Heat number 5, David Orr, West Dumbarton, 17 years of age, 104.41 entry time. The whole field on 104 points, just 100 separating them on entry. Can this be a really tight race now? Orr in the centre of the pool, but we've seen good swims from the outside lanes this afternoon. Now into 15, 16-year-olds with one 14-year-old in the field. That's Finlay Deans in lane 1. The start showing that some of them need power and a bit of practice of that difficult manoeuvre. That back-arching starting process. There's 5 in a line as they go to the pad at the halfway mark. Look for the split time. Is it under 30? No, 30.66. So depending on fitness commitment, we could be looking at a 63 point. 25 to go in the green hat over there. Just showing in lane 1, Finlay Deans. Lane 5, a strong effort from Henry McKenzie of Warrender. But it looks like, again, one of the outside lanes going to take it. Oh, good swim, back in 62. So 30 out, 32 back. Nice swim, young man. Finlay Deans.
Yeah, that was well paced. Well executed race. Good job, Finlay.
Board cleared. And Finlay Deans there, 102.27. It was just ahead of the 102.63 by Mackenzie. Sawkins at 104.43. You can see the difference between first and third. I think it's strange sometimes that, you know, when you look at it visually, then the gap looks small. But when you look at the times, the gap seems large, and it just shows the speed that these swimmers are going at.
Yeah.
You know? It's really one of those perceptions. Heat number 6. Cameron Finlayson with a 103.82. Has just seen a couple of 62s go in the bag. Previous heat, he swam a really good 400 earlier. What can he produce? Archibald, Preston, Mitchell, Hartles and Finlayson. McGregor, Shearer, Douglas, Coots and Robertson in the lineup. Nothing in it going up the first 50. Finlayson just beginning to stretch away into the lead.
Yeah, Cameron Finlayson, we saw him in the 400 earlier. Really looking strong. He's not going to drop off. Showed his fitness earlier. Other guys just need to get some work done to catch up with him. Moving away from the field.
3 100s slower than the previous heat. Is there a better back half? He's got racers with him. He's got challenges. Nice swim in lane 8 from Scott Coots. Finlayson hanging on here at the end of the 100 backstroke event. 103.20. Very interesting that the 30.6 was brought back to 62 point. And a 30.69 goes out to 103.2. But he did have a very good 400. And it's just got to have its effect on the later swim. Finlayson, 103.2. Mitchell, 103.6. Coots, 103.69. And again, a fourth 103 from Hartles in that final heat. So Finlay Deans at the top of the afternoon heats, 102.27. Then you slip out to a couple of 3s, but a lot of 4s in there and 5s. It's good from the 106 entries. So, good swims.
Is a penultimate heat. You can see the two swimmers out in the lead. Swimmer in lane 1, Finlay Deans, I think. Finishing really strong. These guys so close. Didn't time that the best, that finish. Could have nicked a wee bit more off for that time.
Just back at a look at the final summary. Those 62s at the top by McKenzie and Deans looking very good.
That's the winner of the last heat. Cameron Finlayson from Heart of Midlothian. A busy day's work already for him.
Not sure he'll be too happy with the backstroke. I'm sure he would look for another improvement there, but well, sometimes the program just beats you. You know, 400 freestyle, you go in, you do a great job, super swim, and then just 20 minutes later, you're back in on a technical event, and you've already swam a very good middle distance. So sometimes the program just doesn't suit. So just seeing the finish of the last heat there, you can see him, he's very low in the water. Not quite sure where he is, and he's almost over on his front at the finish. Got to watch that. You can roll over, but you can't go beyond the 90-degree line from a horizontal line.
Thought he was just going to climb straight out the pool there. When he touched the wall, he just seemed to turn around, and I thought he was off.
It was a little bit risky at the end. But so we move on to the women's 200 meters backstroke. Now, we had a very swift 100 backstroke, but as we said, even in the morning heats, women's 200 backstroke is just one of those events that's just so difficult to move on. A lot of factors playing on this. Strength, technique, conditioning, specific fitness for the 200 backstroke. And we just really have struggled over the years to produce really top-class backstrokers. I say that against the same way that we can produce top-class breaststrokers, men and women. So we'll see how they do against their entry times. 6 heats. 2:38s in the early heat, right out to 2:27s. So again, not a big spread of time, but quite a drop from 38 to 27. And we'll just see a lot of names appearing now as these age groupers who qualify on a number of events, and it's just part of their development that they'll swim everything that they qualify for. Not like some of the top athletes who sometimes make choices about coming out of one event to protect another. Catherine Comrie from Burt Island, Lauren Leslie from Afford, Gemma Brown from First. 13 years, 14 years, 15 years respectively in lanes 3, 4 and 5 for the first of 6 heats this afternoon in the women's 200 backstroke.
Sometimes we get a really nice race out of some of the early heats with some of the really youngsters. Like we saw that earlier on, the 2 young chaps in the 400. They were just wanting to beat each other, always looking, always seeing where the other one was, and really not wanting to let them get the better of them. So hopefully these girls can give us a really good race. It's quite difficult to see your competitors around you on backstroke because you're looking straight up in the ceiling, but you have a pretty good awareness of what's going on around you. You're used to seeing the splashing beside you, and you'll know if you're in the lead. Catherine Comrie, looking really good, spotting the wall great, going over in first place so far. Trying to use the underwater as best as she can. Good skills there, good job, Catherine.
At some points in the race, it just almost looks like synchronized backstroke, doesn't it? You know, the arms are almost at the same time as each of the stroke rates match up with another. You can see that the race is gone for the second 2, but they are very much in contention for a race amongst themselves. Oh, a little hesitation there, lane 4. Lauren Leslie just making a decision after she was unexpectedly caught by the flags.
Yeah, and Gemma Brown really chasing here. You know what kids are like, no one will want to come last. So she'll be chasing. Looking really good, looking really strong. All three girls holding their skills together really, really nicely.
2:38 entry time. Let's get in here, ladies. Just the last pickup. You can't see it from that angle, but Gemma Brown just slightly overreaching. And you can see that bent arm at the finish. Absolutely no account of flags and strokes, and just getting to the end of the 200. 2:38 to the winner. There you are, confirmed. 2:40 in second and 2:42 for Gemma at the end of the day. So only the 1, 2 and 3. Let's hope there are no gaps further up the field, because you know, 3 summers in a heat, it's can be even a bit lonely with 3. Heat 2, Kate Saxon in 3, Rachel Donald in 4, and Emma Claire McEwen from Aberdeen in 5. That's the middle of the field, 2:37s, but it's tight across this because it's a block of time on the entries. A block of time around the 2:37 mark. And the slowest is 2:38.1. Now they've just got to convert that into a long course swim. And here they are in Heat 2, the afternoon session. Just a little stronger effort at holding a nice positive tempo. Summer in lane 4. Rachel Donald of Bathgate. 18 years of age, Rachel. And just working the stroke there, quite low in the water. Now, I don't know if you can catch it, but over there, the current leader, Kate Saxon, you can see a big splash of white water on the right hand as she just seems to slip that very close to the surface. Very little roll to the right hand side to apply some strength to that. But going through in 1:15, there's a 1:16 split in the previous heat. So although it looks a lot faster with a lot more summers going with the pace, it's only a second faster than the previous heat. Remember, they came out at 2:38. I think we'll see a little more fitness here.
Yeah, Kate Saxon really effective with her left arm. Wee bit of work to do on her right arm, just comes in a little bit short and doesn't really get much rotation on that side, which means she can't really use the full pull underwater on that side. It's just a bit of a limping stroke, but quite effective in winning this race.
3 summers then in 6, 7 and 8, having a private little battle here. Stephanie Strang of Dundee City, Kate Story of Helmsborough, Katie Robertson, South Ayrshire. But clear lead, even with these identified little challenges in the backstroke. Kate Sexton, she has had a number of good swims in the first couple of days and comes home in 2:35. Her fitness carrying her through, I think. 1:15, 1:20. So nicely balanced 200, but some technique to work on there, I think, Kate. So the 1, 2 and 3, 35, 36, 37. Saxon, Mulligan and Robertson in that order. A couple of 2:37s, and the field was on 2:37, so good at the top, and some will be very slightly disappointed at just missing their entry time. Heat 3 moves to 2:34 out to 2:37. Still on 2:37 with this third heat coming. Claire Dow of Inverleith 2:34.5 in lane 4. And from the entries, she's the one to beat. Big loud splash at the start there. As you move up the levels and quality and standard and abilities, you don't hear that. They're over the water. It's a clean entry, like a back dive, and you know, that's to come. So lane 9, Niamh Brett of Warrender, only 13 years of age. Nice positive start to the 50. And a very tidy looking stroke in lane 4 from Claire from Inverleith. Very tight to the wall though. If you have your knees and your ankles bent that much, you don't get the power.
Yeah, you mentioned the graceful swim earlier on. You look at that in lane 4. Really nice, very lazy looking stroke. She'll be working, but looks very, very easy.
She reminds me of somebody from the past, and I'm just struggling to bring it out of the files, you know. She's not very tall, but the kind of approach to it, it's like, I think it's Egerzegi, Hungary. Beautiful, long, easy stroking, and you thought, come on, hurry up. Yeah. You know, pick it up, get faster. But all the work was being done underwater, and one stroke led to the other. However, it's not proving to be as fast as, as we need to win the heat. As we see lane 6, Megan Bowie of Aberdeen, the 15-year-old, just taking over at the 100 and beginning to press the field now. Almost in slow motion. You were saying earlier about picking it up and going into the wall, and that's absolutely right. You need a little bit of speed to get that rebound off the wall, you know.
There's nothing worse than when you're really starting to tire and you come into that wall with no momentum. It can just be the most exhausting thing to turn around and come back off. You really want to hold the momentum into the wall and then back out off it again.
So Megan holding it on just at the end, under a little bit of pressure, but 2:36.51 for the leader. So there'll be, I think, a number of disappointed swimmers in there. The leader at 2:36, a couple of 34s and 35s in that entry. So if the leader's at 36, yeah, you can work it out. From there on in, it's just getting slower. There's the board. Bowie at 2:36, Buchan at 2:37, strong finish. Miller 2:39, as was Down and McManus. Heat 4, a couple of 13-year-olds, a 16-year-old in the field. Couple of Megans in the field. Heat 4, women's 200 backstroke, afternoon session. Session 5 already of the National Championships 2014.
Really good view of the start there on that first shot. Nice aggressive start from Hannah Duheric. That's what we need. We need somebody really just to get into these heats and stamp their authority on it. All these girls in a line coming through the first 50. Not much to pick between any of them. Really got to work into the wall, turn, hold that momentum and push off as hard as you can. And then hold that streamline. Just hold that momentum and then start to get back into that rhythm. Still Hannah from Warrender looking really good. Doesn't want to drop that tempo and stroke length too much though. Just hold on to it and learn not to be afraid to do that, you know.
Well, matching the swim, Jenny Adams in lane 9 from Best. Just quietly in the outside lane, up there with the lead, also going well. Next door in lane 8, Katie Taylor, a 13-year-old. Obviously, no fear at all. You can see there, 1:15.4 for Hannah, but it's a 1:15.7 for Katie Taylor. Now, this third 50, and often the youngsters think that at the 100 it's all done, it's dusted, it's finished, and that's why the third 50 proves to be a problem. So good attack on that.
Yeah, Hannah, sorry Drew, Hannah from the same club as Craig McNally. She'll be a lot younger, so I doubt they would actually do a lot of direct training together, but she'll be aware of him. And Craig came through the same system there at Warrender. So they know what they're doing across the 200-metre backstroke in Warrender Bath Club.
So nice, positive rhythm in the last 25. A late attack by lane 4. Kirsty McGinley of Ren 96. But just too late in the day. Hannah's done the work after the first 50, and 2:32 finish, just on the entry time. So remember, there you are, 1, 2 and 3. Juherich, Ginley, Taylor, the times 2:32.4, 33.7, 35.71. That's heat number 4. Now remember, you can tweet in hashtag SGNC 2014. Give us a comment. Hopefully it's positive and confirming comment with this effort to bring the nationals to you over the internet on the YouTube channel, youtube.com Scottish Swimming. You can see there that as the young swimmer nearest to us, Alana Kelly, drops off the block. She pushed back, and you know, her hips were in the water very early, so she's pushing against the shape of her back in an upright position. So a lot of drag there. Once she got into the swim, it was very different as she leads up the first 50, but nothing on the start. Just not the strength, the power, the gymnastic ability to get it up and over. It's a difficult skill. Turns are okay in lane 4, challenging the lead, Erin Rafferty of Carnegie. And it's a steady swim amongst the rest of the field. Nothing much to watch for on the swims, but when it comes to this relatively, well, it's now an embedded turn in the swim fraternity, but it's still something to learn and improve and polish. The rollover and watching the laws of the sport. So good positive pickup after the first 100 from Erin Rafferty in the middle of the pool, the 15-year-old from Carnegie. Little battle over there in 0 and 1. Sarah Cleland, Lindsay Sword, North Lanark in first. And after a very good-looking start, Alana Kelly in the first 50, just beginning to slow down now in the second 100. That's what I was talking about early on, about the difficulty of having the specific endurance on 200 backstroke to maintain the second 100. just a small apology if you hear a tin can like sound in the background. It's the kids in front. Good to see them, and they're certainly putting a lot of cheer into the swim. So Erin then. Nice clean victory, not under any challenge. Nice spot at the finish, and it's a 2:31.5. So slowly moving down, 2:31.5 again, all swimming on or just off their entry time in these afternoon sessions today. Well, all the lanes checked, the board cleared. Rafferty with a 2:31 victory. McPhee in second with 2:33. Lindsay Sword 2:34.5 was the third swimmer. Drifting out to 2:40 for Brodie. When you get entered on a 2:32 and you do a 2:40, then it's something you have to deal with, isn't it? At any age. So, final heat. Kitty Price from Alsager. 2:27.90. Anglo-Scot in lane 4. Now, the 2:27.9 entry is a clear and positive difference between the rest of her heat and the rest of the field this afternoon. So, let's see if she comes with that pedigree and puts it into the pool here at Tollcross.
Yeah, nobody's showing at the moment. If anything, maybe just Ali Morrison. Just taking ahead of the other girls. Everybody else in a line though. Nice and smooth in the middle of the pool. Nice long strokes. Wow, a bit close to the wall there in lane 4. Have your knees around your ears. Not a great position to push off the wall from. She's left herself a little bit of work to do through this first 100. Ali Morrison looking strong, lane 7.
Yeah, it's almost a 7-way fight here, David, in the last heat. Jessica Damon over there in lane 0 moving up, and lane 9's Caroline McIntosh from City of Aberdeen also in the mix. You can see in the middle, and again lane 4 just a little bit slow and clumsy on the turn. Good stroke swimming, but these turn skills not helping. That's good. You can now see 6 swimmers in a line. Lane 0 being lost at that 100 mark. In lane 9, Caroline McIntosh just ahead slightly as they pass right in front of us. Again, lane 4, Kitty Price coming through the field, gets to the wall, and, well, she's almost hooking the top of the pad there with her heels. And she's lost 3 meters there.
Yeah.
Now, the race for the finish.
Yeah, Caroline McIntosh swimming her great race out there. Right in the outside, Caroline McIntosh looks like she's going to take this one. Maybe. Between Kitty Price. Oh, very close. Emma Scully takes it.
2:30.33 then for Emma Scully across there. Swimming in lane 3. Quiet throughout the event, but a good, strong last 50. Brought her in to challenge Caroline McIntosh in lane 9, who had done a lot of the middle work. And the pool clearing. So we get a chance to see the result of that heat. Much tighter. 2:30.3 for the first. McIntosh 2:30.6. Price, the fastest entry on 2:31.32. Had to settle for third.
So, all in a line, could have gone pretty much anywhere. Yeah, could have spotted that finish a little better. Outside for Caroline Morrison. Swam a great swim from there.
Yeah, just you saw Caroline McIntosh almost slow down and think about the finish.
Yeah.
It wasn't natural, you know. You can see the process working almost as the arm stroke slowed down, and that allowed Scully to come in on, carrying the momentum.
These wee bits and bobs are so important, though, Drew. The little skills, gathering up all the wee bits of change, you know. You can make a big, big difference just working on those, tidying up these little skills.
Yeah, that's the way to look at it, you know. 20 small changes make one great big improvement. Well, the audience, of course, are light this afternoon. I'm sure it'll fill up as we get to Friday night, the end of the working week, and Michael Jamieson swimming in the finals and Robbie Rennick swimming in the finals, and as the word gets out that yeah, we've got one or two exciting swims in prospect, and we've had one or two great swims, and we need a little bit more active support for getting these people to nomination times. So, men's 200 breaststroke. We have 5 heats going down to 2:39. We saw a lovely 2:09 swim this morning from Mr. Jamieson. So it just shows you the range within the same event. Heat 1 of the 5 heats then. Marcus Hills of Helensburgh, 15 years of age, comes in with a 2:49.9. And all these swimmers round about the 2:50, 2:51. That's what they're trying to beat, to go under 2:50. And just as you look across the pool, wonderful view from the high camera, you can see all the different interpretations of this peculiar stroke.
Good start from Grant Ogilvie from Carnegie Club. Very high out the water, up and down. Keeps it nice and tidy at the front. Maybe just use a wee bit more of that power into getting more forward momentum. Complete opposite end of the spectrum. You've got lane 4, Marcus Hills. Very flat stroke, very wide kick. Nothing in it at the moment, though, between these two guys. Very close at the halfway, 1:17.5.
Well, 1:17. Remember, they're trying to get under 2:50 here. 1:17. Well, it gives them a great shot at it. It's almost a very old-fashioned stroke, isn't it? Very flat.
Yeah. Really getting a good distance with each stroke, though. Gets himself into a reasonable position in the front. And he's got a powerful kick.
Well, the field coming strong. Grant Ogilvie drifting back with every metre. That peculiar underwater section of breaststroke. Extended drive off the wall. The arms pull right through to the hips. Then they recover up close to the chest. And as the legs kick, the hands go forward. And the timing of all of that to bring you to the surface needs lots of practice. Not a natural movement at all. You need to practice to put it in place. But it can make a big, big difference. So holding on then, first heat, Marcus Hills, 2:45.38. Very positive stamp on his 2:49 entry. 2:45 gets the event underway and rolling. .245. The board just being cleared. 2:45 is followed by Miller's 2:46 and a very tight finish with Allison in 2:46.83. Hills at 2:45, good swim. Heat 2. The names you hear will be a lot of repeats as the young men enter a few events and they find themselves in the afternoon session. Gregor Moore of Delting, a 17-year-old, 2:48 entry. And the first 50 just been shaken out, and it's the lanes 7, 8 and 9 that are taking over the lead.
Yeah, Ross Young in lane 9. He's obviously thinking that he's going to have some of this one. He's not going to wait for see what happens. He's just going to set his tempo up and go for it. Also Scott Griffin, lane 7, starting to open up a bit of a lead. Seems to go very deep. But he's got a pretty powerful kick, a lot of range.
Yeah, a strange position, isn't it? When he goes deep, the body is lower than the hands.
Yeah.
You know, that means he's really pulling downwards. But very strong lead at 117.8.
You don't want to move too much up and down, Drew, do you? You want to, but you need a little bit of undulation to maintain the rhythm, but you don't want to move too much up and down. Just a bit of a waste of energy.
You can see also at the front, well, we can see from our position, you might see it as well, that the arms are not fully extended at the front. The elbows are bent. And these little things mean that there's extra resistance there. The hands are apart at the front. Now, some top swimmers love to swim like that. Come through in the prayer position, separate the hands, palms facing, and then they turn the hands to get into the catch. But that just looks like a little bit of stiffness.
Yeah, I was going to say, it just looks like he could work on his flexibility around his shoulders a little bit. Maybe a little tight in his lats and his pecs. He just struggles to get fully extended out in front. Nonetheless, he's really opened up a big gap between him and the rest of this field.
Yeah, it's a very, very strong field. Strong swim. Even although we're giving him some criticism here. Scott Griffin done the job, entered on 2:48.8, coming in, just missing the 2:40. 2:42.11, big improvement. Clear second place there to Callum Mitchell. And, lane 4 left for dead. A 16-year-old Orcadian. Gregor Moore from Delting, 17 years of age, came with a strong-looking 2:48 in that field, but, taken out by the swim of Scott Griffin. Lambert in that race, Alistair Lambert of Warner, sadly disqualified. Something he'll have to learn and pick it up. Griffin 2:42 for first, Mitchell 2:47, and another tight 2:47 for Sam Andrews in third place. Next heat sees two 12-year-olds in the middle of the field in lane 3 and 4, West Lothian and Warrender. Dan Ferguson, Archie Goodburn, And from the middle of the pool, they've got to hold off some 15, 16 and 17-year-olds in the outer lanes. Heat 3, men's 200 breaststroke.
And McCormick, lane 6, really going for this one. Also down in lane 1. Allcorn from Mulgai and Bears Den. Michael Allcorn, 14 years old. He also fancies himself on this, obviously. Big quick tempo stroke up in lane 1.
Yeah, that's difficult to hold over the 200, isn't it?
Very, yeah. Jamie Eason in the lane outside him in lane 0. Looking nice and long and strong and powerful. He's going with him. And then in lane 6, McCormick still going. Again, slightly strange stroke. Good split time, no 1:16.5.
Conor McCormick then, setting out his stall at the 100. Again, looks a very strong swimmer, very muscular, but not a lot of reach on the front end of that stroke. It's very short, elbows still bent, quick into the stroke.
Doesn't really pause at all up at the front end, does he?
No.
Just maybe a timing thing he can work on. It's not a criticism, he's obviously doing very well to do what he does.
Well, our young man over there, still going with his short stroke.
He's actually lengthened it out a wee bit, you know. It looks like he's just stretched into this race a little bit.
Well, across the pool then, from lane 1 right across to lane 6, that's where the race is. Stroke for stroke, 25 to go. Conor McCormick with just a slight lead at this stage. Coming very fast in lane 0, Jamie Eason of Stirling, the 16-year-old. And then sneaking through the field in the last 50, the 12-year-old Warrender, Archie Goodburn. What a finish. 12-year-old finding all the energy. Oh, very tight. Goodburn came through and he takes it 2:45.1 to 2:45.4.
He's slapping the water there. He's delighted with that one.
Well, he's 2:46.47 entry time. But what a way to do it.
Yeah, came from nowhere, didn't he? Didn't mention him the whole race.
No, he wasn't in
there.
sight. Sneaked up on the third 50. A highwayman, obviously.
You get annoyed with those guys in training.
Goodburn 2:45.1, McCormick 2:45.4, and Alcorn ends up third on 2:47.2 after a very strong lead swim all the way through. And we move to heat number 4 of the 5 in the afternoon programme. Connor Searle, Gregor Swinney, Guy Haggerty, William Balfour, Alistair Crichton, the 16-year-old from Warner with a 2:41.9, the fastest in the field. Samuel Johnson, Greg Reid, Simon McDonald, Ross McPherson and Liam Slimman from Ren 96. And even after 50 on the 200 breaststroke, there's a scattering of swimmers. As you drive up this first 50, the touch going over there in lane 1 to Swinney, 34.34.
He looked like he just attacked that first 50 a little too hard for me, that one. Swinney up in lane 1.
Yeah.
He's settled down a bit, but he might just pay for that early enthusiasm later on in the race.
Great big splash happening as he does the leg kick, drops the body. There's a big splash of water in front of him there. It's most unusual.
Yeah, it tells you that he's pushing the water somewhere, and that's not a good thing.
So coming to the 100, remember we've seen a 1:16 split. We've now gone to 1:15.86 as Johnson takes over at the halfway mark. Samuel Johnson from Dumfries.
Nice and smooth rhythm, pretty continuous stroke in the middle of the pool there. It's Johnson stretching out a little bit of a lead, not having it all his own way, getting chased by Greg Reid from Carnegie. Some of the other guys, lane 3, starting to close in. Balfour just wants to spot that wall, make sure you get 2 hands at the same time. The judge is watching for it. Into the last 50.
Could be a grandstand last 25 here as they all pick up the end of the race. Like the look of Greg Reid in lane 6. He's paced it well, he's looking strong, he's picking it up. But that quite deep stroke and fast rhythm picking up in lane 5. Samuel Johnson doesn't want to be beat.
No, he's holding on to it.
Well, no real adjustment necessary there. It's just continuous swimming into the wall. Winning time 2:41 flat on this occasion. But for Samuel, that's a very slight improvement possibly, or just consolidation of a short course conversion to a long course swim. 1 heat to go and all the information through. Big discussion at the table. DQ for Connor Searle in that heat. 16-year-old from North Lanark. 2:45 he was entered on. Missed his time there, but that time does not stand now with the DQ. The board cleared in your first, second and third in that heat. It was Johnson at 2:41, Greg Reid at 2:41.8, and Balfour at 2:43.15. Good little mental and physical rehearsal there of the stroke as they have this long delay because of that disqualification. 5th and final heat in the men's 200 breaststroke. Martin Carey of Dundee in the centre lane. 22-year-old in amongst the teenagers. He's in a 2:39.2.
You saw Martin in the 50 breaststroke with a pretty strong effort in there. I think about 31 flat, I think, was it? Something around there. So he's obviously swimming well. And keen to put in a good performance. Craig Watt as well, lane 7 from West Lothian. Really attacking this. It's good to see, but like in the heat before, we saw a couple of guys just a bit too eager to get the early speed while they were feeling good. You've really got to hold back.
Nice athlete. Nice long extension. Good drive. Nice little platform to build on for Craig Watt, the 16-year-old from West Lothian. Just coming to the 100 mark, and we're through in a 1:10, a quick 1:10 in the afternoon. Watt entered on a 2:41, so you double the 1:10, 2:20. And what can he hold off? So he's in on a 2:41. He could go to sub 2:30 here.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's seems to have absolutely attacked us from the front. Pretty close race. Expect these guys to be very close to 2:30.
14-year-old Joss Mitchell in Lane 6 just moving up ever so quietly on this event. Nice third 50, good pull out. Now he can chase those leaders, can't he?
Yeah, he can, and he is. Look at him go. He's really getting after them. Martin Kerry just maybe a little bit too strong for the youngsters. It's a good swim for the university swimmer.
Yeah, 22 years of age, Dundee University. Remember, training will be affected. Not the same clear programme as the young people in high schools. 2:39 entry for Kerry. It's going to come in just outside the 2:30. Oh dear, hard luck. 2:30.5. Good swims of 2:32s though for the 2:40, 2:41 entries for Mitchell and Watt. These are good, positive swims. Nice platform for development there in these guys. Times at that level, DQ for Martin. Well, there you are.
Oh, that's a shame. Maybe butterfly kick off the walls, or maybe a one-handed touch.
Well, you can see him already shaking the head and can't believe that it happened to him. Nice touch that. Knew they were in a race together. Craig Watt then moves up to 2:32.21 in the winner. Josh Mitchell 2:32.52 second. Greg Turner third in 2:36.45. Disappointing DQ for the old man in the field.
I wonder if that'll affect. I wonder if he would have been in a position to get another swim later on. I'm not sure, but if not, then not too much damage done.
Well, from the relative staid performance in the breaststroke with that long, strong stroke over the 200. The next event up is the women's 50 freestyle. 5 heats. Start with 3 swimmers in the first heat. Victoria, Erin, Libby back in the water. Weston Barton, West Lothian and Warrender respectively. It's a 50 freestyle. We start around the 29 point for the 50. And because it's a tight field, of course, you only go down to a 28 point with Jenna Lafferty, the 14-year-old, 28.7 entry time. So all the heats very close. It'll be hundreds that will separate them at the end. And I'm sure there'll be a few equal swim times off this 50. Well, different starting positions. You can see in lane 4 starting to swim before she really surfaced. Needs to look at that starting process. That's Erin Cooper of West Lothian. She's caught them in the field. They're entered on 29 point, stroke for stroke. Now, when you get to the 10-meter mark, they've got to start thinking about, can they hold? Do they have the conditioning to put the head down, hold the breath and get to the wall? It looks like the Warrender swimmer Libby Adams is just going to do that. 29.4, slight improvement on the entry time. There you are, done and dusted.
Yeah, I thought Libby got a really good start. Really came off the blocks well, into streamline very, very nicely. Led that race right from the start, so it was a good swim from Libby.
And the start certainly cost Erin Cooper there. 29.4, 29.7, 29.79 for the 1, 2 and 3 in that first heat. 3 swimmers only move to heat number 2. No swimmer in lane 9. In the centre of the pool, Kirsty Forsyth of West Lothian with a 29.5 entry time. Surely the one to beat. But names like Jess Black, Megan Feld, Kirsty Pitts, Anna Balfour, Lisa Curry, they've all been in yesterday and today, all in a line, but lovely long stroke there in the centre in lane 4.
Yeah. Forsyth and Megan Niven really taking this one out. Lovely long stroke, as Drew said, lane 4. Quite straight arm up in lane 4. She's going to win this one.
28.92. Solid swim of 29 entries, 29-point entries. So moves the event down 28.92, 29.38, 29.39. That's how close it is, and only one drifting out to the 30-point. Sure, she's disappointed with that. Heat 3 readying, no swimmer in lane 2. That's Ailsa Tomini of Warrender out to the 53. '17-year-old Lucy Walkup of Carnegie with a 29.2, the fastest in this field.
Yeah, very nice start from Warrender swimmer. Niamh Ritchie looking really strong. I think down there lane 8. Looks like he's got the lead from now. Very strong kick, very compact, powerful stroke from the Lerwick swimmer. Needs to get her head down and into the wall. See if she can get under the 29 barrier as well. 28.5, it's a good swim.
28.50. Well, that's a different kind of swimming. We were talking about keeping the stroke long and holding it on, but that was very short, very swift. As you say, very compact, very controlled. 28.5 then, just getting faster as we move to heat number 4. Stephanie Strang of Dundee City, 15 years of age, 28.96, the fastest in the field. All swimmers are ready for this heat. Alex Cunningham, lane 6, back in the pool for more action. She's had a busy day 1 and day 2 program. Very good control at the start by all of these women. And a long underwater section from lane 5's Robin Crawford. Didn't get any advantage. Early doors in the first 25, just showing Alex Cunningham in 6. But a powerful swim in lane 3 from Jordan Sturt, who's had a great meet here. She seems to be powering into the wall. Difficult to tell across the pool, but coming through very, very late. Wonderful little swim there. Lexi Waller, she's had a good meet too, and takes that heat.
A great meet.
12 years of age, David. 29.08 entry. In the order, 28.32 to Waller. Sturt with a 29.02. Ellie Neal with 29.19.
She's one of these swimmers, Lexi. It seems to double in size as soon as she hits the water.
Not outwards, I hope.
No, she looks big in the water, big and tall, and really uses her levers effectively.
Heat 5 then. Jenna Lafferty with a 28.57. A little bit under pressure from the times from the previous heats.
Nice start from all the swimmers there. Really come up in a line. Got to get the head down and get the tempo and get the leg going, but you can't hold your breath too long.
Yeah, only 1 or 2 swimmers try that on a 50 long course. 3 in a line across the pool, just seeming to show up there in lane number 3 or 4. No, Cara Smith, I'm right, 28.32. Nice strong finish, 28.32. And the 50 freestyle event, Cara Smith 28.32, Swanson with a 28.37. It's only the hundreds, and a 0.52 for Lafferty put her into third place. But you can see a bank at 28s there. The entry started at 29, and they've taken the opportunity of improving their personal bests on the 50 freestyle, the short sprint event. At 28.32 by Lexi Waller. It leads the whole of the heats.
You can see how close this race is. Middle of the pool there, just lost it on the start, I think. This is desperately tight, this race. Looks like it's going to go to lane number 6. Oh.
Well, the young ladies, 14, 15, 16, 17. A lot of work this afternoon. And finishing off with a 50 freestyle. And just making small margins of improvement, and it's nice to finish on a high. And of course, nothing better than when you're swimming really fast in the short 50 to feel good about the time and the swim. So we stay on the 50s, the men's 50 fly. 3 swimmers in the first heat. Andrew Sawkins will be in lane 3 for Heart of Midlothian. Andrew Irvin of Stirling in 4. Fraser Meadows, Warrender in lane 5. This is 50 butterfly. Now we saw some very powerful swims this morning in the 50 fly. But you're talking about adult, mature men, full-time professional athletes. So it'll be very different here.
Yeah, a range of strokes, pretty powerful stroke from the Heart of Midlothian swimmer Sawkins. Really driving his legs, using his power. Just keep it going into the wall, head down from now on in.
27.7 for Sawkins. He's in on a 29.26. So it's a massive improvement on the 50. The 1, 2, and 3. Sawkins, Meadow, Irvin, 7.74, 8.63, 9.17. No swimmer in lane 9 on this next heat, heat 2 of the 5. Lane 4 is Callum McBeath from Forest with a 28.93. Picking him out because he's lane 4, but on the 50, it's anybody's race.
A wee twitch from Callum, I thought, off the blocks there. I don't think they'll penalise him for it. Maybe lane 6. Cameron Muir having it all his way just now. Or Harrison from Warrender actually coming through later on in the 50. Looks like he's going to take it. Oh.
So lane 6 in the second heat. Cameron Muir, South Ayrshire. Just holding off a very, very strong challenge. 28.12, 28.19 to Harrison, and Gregor Dippy at 28.54. 4 on 28 made it a very tight finish. Heat number 3. All swimmers in attendance. Callum Dean's in 4 from Elgin at 28.73. So we're staying around the 28 mark. Right out to heat number 6 when it starts to drop to 27. Heat 5 has a few 27s in it as well. And that's what they'll be looking for. A very high dive from lane 0 and a long time underwater. Lane 3 just losing it on the start, giving away an edge. And lane 7 here, Gregor Swinney, all action. Nice range of movement, good leg kick, head down. Couple of breaths. Is he going to breathe before the wall? No, good man. Nice technique to get in, and 27.61 it is.
That's an impressive swim. Really nice technique and skills all the way through.
Swinney 27.61, Jones 27.96, and then you're out to 28.07 for Mark Elric in the third spot.
Tom Bailey's done everything this morning, I think. Busy morning.
Heat number 4, Fraser Lowther of Dumfries. All these swimmers on 28. They've just seen a couple of 27s go from the 28s in the earlier heat. Long time underwater, but it was very effective over there in lane 2. Adam Murray, as he gets to 25, just showing a slight lead. Now, can he hold this? Lane 0, very powerful. Graham McKinney of North Lanark challenging, but the lane 2 Adam Murray looks as though he has it in his grasp as he heads towards the wall. One last stroke, just not quite the perfect finish, and he gets second place because of that.
Yeah, he really lost it on the touch there, didn't he? He had that, it was his. Just mistimed that finish, and it cost him.
Lowther from lane 4 gets the victory in 27.31. Murray went to 27.46 with that poor finish. Arnott 27.49, third spot. More 27s cascading into the butterfly times. So we move to heat number 5. No heat 5. We're short of a heat 5. Oh, here they are.
Here they come. Somebody was sleeping.
I heard that in the call room, the space and the traffic is just not quite right. That there's a lot of movement in different directions. People wanting to go to the pool, for example, go through that corridor, and the swimmers that are coming out, and it's just a bit crowded. I picked up from one of the officials. We look at heat 5 and Jamie Waller, Heart of Midlothian, 27.72. Now, there's 8 swimmers in the field with 27. They should clear away the debris of the previous heats who have been 28, 27, you know, so maybe we'll get a really good clearance here with a 27 low, or even in a 26. 27-year-old Daniel John from Totnes in lane 1. 18-year-old Callum Reid in lane 6 for Warnder. But it's Waller, Heart of Midlothian.
Good start from all the guys. Callum Wellstead got off the blocks very, very well. Big, tall boy. Brother of Joe Wellstead. Expect him to be a bit of a powerhouse then. It's between him, lane 5, Callum McCall, looking very powerful. Really driving into the wall. He desperately wants to win this race.
Not quite spotting the finish. He really had to make sure that he extended at the end of that. But, well, managed to hold on. Curtis 26.92. McCall went to 27.09 with that just slightly unspotted finish. Now 27.2 to Wellstead in third place. Heat number 5. And just some of these younger swimmers just making the adjustment a little bit too late in the swim. And remember, they're traveling very quickly. It's a very, very swift decision to make. But it's so important that you do it early on. Heat 6, Gavin Hagerwood from Geary in lane 4. Very powerful start over in 0 from Simran Wilkes of Warnder. And he's powering down 0. The red and white hat of Warnder looking very, very strong. He's 18 years of age. He's built for butterfly with that very strong upper body. Going for the wall, but coming through now in 4. Gavin Hagerwood at the finish. Tight in the touch. Hagerwood takes it 26.56. Entered on 27, and we finally get a 26 point in the 50 fly from the afternoon heats.
Yeah.
Hagerwood 26.5. Wilkes went 26 as well, but 9.4. McGregor 27.33. 200s to get into third place.
Yeah, Gavin, he looked like he swam a really solid race there all the way through. Wasn't leading at 15 metres, but he was in a good position and really just kept his skills together and worked all the way through into the wall. That's what we mean by building. Same, even in the 50, build through it, but it's not because you're going to increase your speed. You're just trying to hold on to it as much as you possibly can.
Just challenge the deceleration effect of, you know, swimming for longer than 10, 11 seconds, you know. Yeah, just got to hold it, haven't you? You just got to, you know you're going to be slowing down, but you've just got to resist that.
And sometimes I think just also resist the temptation to try too hard early on when you have the energy. Just hold that wee bit back.
Yeah, I thought that it was a powerful swim from Wilkes out there. And I really did think that Agawood had it, but just not quite making the finish. So we come to the men's 4x200 freestyle relay. Again, a whole lot of teenagers in this first heat for the teams, and they are in lane 0 will be Perth, 1 will be Dundee University, in 2 will be South Ayrshire, 3 North Lanark, 4 Fife Performance, 5 the first group, 6 South Lanark, 7 Stirling, lane 8 a second team from the first squad. Four by 200, like yesterday, proves to be one of the very interesting races. There can be a number of changes as you go through the event, and the danger lies in, well, the usual takeovers and not going out too hard, too fast in the first part of your leg just because you think you're going to make up or extend the lead. Just got to control that first 50 because it is a 200. You can often see people dying at the end of the 200 because they put everything into the first part and trying to do some kind of tactic of make-up. So again, Perth, Dundee University, South Ayrshire, North Lanark, then Fife Performance first, South Lanark, Stirling, and a second team from the first group. That's your lineup.
Good start here from South Lanarkshire. Very enthusiastic opening 100 metres. Hope he hasn't done too much too early.
See that left arm just going out to the side there. It's a lot of effort, but again, it's just small things, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, through at the break is 57.15. Yeah, 57.15. Cameron Park, a 17-year-old. And you can see now he's starting to grab the water and just slow down. Next to him, Ryan Retson, the 13-year-old, in lane 5 for probably the A-team from first. And can you see that after that turn, Cameron Park almost had nothing left to be able to get his stroke going. He hit a very difficult patch there as Ryan Retson of first cuts him down. He's hanging in. 57 out on at his stage is just crazy. And you can see there it's ragged and straggly going into the wall for his partner to take over.
2 minutes is a good opening leg though. He's given his team a little bit of an advantage going in. Callum Laurie though, really smooth technician. He's closed most of that gap down already. Maybe a tactical effort by the coach, putting Callum in seconds, a very strong 200 free swimmer. He's closed the lead down very quickly.
Yeah, we didn't really develop that yesterday, but coach selection, order of swimmers can be very important, can't it, in the 4x2?
Yeah. Almost even more so at this level, where you're going to have more variety in the abilities of the swimmers in the same team. If you know what I mean.
I hope I do.
Yeah. Where are you going to use your strongest swimmer? And then at this level, you might find that your strongest swimmer can make a difference of maybe up to 10 seconds. Whereas at the elite level, you wouldn't expect that there would be that much of a difference.
No, and classically you would end up, you would anchor the team with the fastest swimmer. But you can play around, because that middle two swimmers are supposed to be the engine room of a 4x2. Usually they swim around the same time, but they just block it in there. They just put in the work and give the anchor swimmer a real chance to finish fast, finish with style, finish hopefully in clear water.
Just like Callum's doing here. He's put a really decent leg in for his team. He's going to have a split well under 2 minutes, I think. Good effort on the takeover there. Not sure if the execution was as good as it could have been, but 10 out of 10 for effort.
Yeah, everyone's a critic, of course, but yes, it was a terrible dive. Yeah, you like to be supportive of the swimmers, but sometimes they just let you down. Well, the gap closing a little bit. Now moving into third place in lane 2. South Ayrshire, Cameron Muir just quietly moving his team up. But the race, 4x2, as we said, it's like, scattering the coins. They go everywhere, they roll everywhere. And you've got swimmers with, or teams with, well, almost 50 metres of a lead. Not good to see, but it happens, A in 4x2 and B with age groupers, and most of these are still teenagers. So digging in at the lead then. James Stephen. And a nice, quiet, effective effort by Cameron Muir over there in lane 2, bringing them through.
Sometimes that can be the difference, though. Just having that one really top swimmer in the team can separate the field out a lot at this level.
Well, 1, 2, and 3. It's first group, and then it's North Lanarkshire and then South Lanarkshire. Obviously, big rivals there. And then it's a long way back to 4th place. In lane 8, the second team from the first squad. As we get the final swimmer. And this is Ellis Lawson taking over the anchor leg. Now, in the first 50 of the last swim, in the two teams that are second and third and battling for that place, you've got a really strong swim in the first 50 from Mark McRae to put his team back into second place. But, that's what I mean. He's just out like, a dog out of a trap, and already he's been overhauled back again by the North Lanark swimmer Ryan Buchanan. Well, 100 to go, turning in 7:10. The entry time from the lane 5 team from first is 8:15. You can see there has been a bit of work for their anchor swimmer, Ellis Lawson. Still trying to hang on to a nice long stroke, but the cadence has dropped down. Ryan Buchanan over there, and two, it's Josh Mitchell, sorry, missed call there. Josh Mitchell doing a good job to bring them into second place. South Lanarkshire's Mark McRae can't do anything about it. He did it in the 50, he's paying for it at the end. Nice strong finish from Josh Mitchell, but just too much of a distance there to the leaders.
Yeah, that was right from the second leg, just opened up that lead. The other guys did well to hold on to it. Second place coming through strong.
8:16.66 is the time that goes forward into the bag, really, for contention. There's an 8:12 entry and an 8:14 entry from the fastest heat, but well, 8:16 shouldn't trouble any of them, but well, you never know. They won the first heat, they're leading the event. 8:16 from the team from first. The afternoon session with the 4x200 relay just coming to a close with the finish of the teams. The board is cleared. Results confirmed. 8:16.66. South Lanarkshire 8:23 and 8:19 in second place. And there's the confirmation of those 4x2 relay times. It's the first heat of 2 in a 4x2 event. So the 4x2, 8:16 going forward. And the swimming is finished for the afternoon session. Nothing really special in the afternoon, David, was it?
No, there's a lot of tough racing going on. I thought we saw a lot of heats this afternoon with
in the final session, Jack.
With a lot of the swimmers way under their entry times and their personal best times. So I thought it was a pretty decent session from some of the age group swimmers. Yeah, it sets us up nicely for tonight, though. We're going to have a lot of exciting races to come, but there's more to it than the elite end. It's the national championships, right? So we've got to go right through from the junior and the development squads and really hope that we can keep all the top-end elite swimmers coming through, you know. They've got to come from somewhere. And all the Michael Jamesons and Hannah Mileys, they spent their time in the junior ranks, as did all the athletes that we saw this afternoon.
Yeah, as you say, the final session is always special. But when you've got the likes of Michael Jameson, Robbie Rennick, Lewis Smith, the top end of Scottish swimming, then, and Hannah Miley in the 200, you know, it's just something a bit special, isn't it? And when you know that they're going to compete in the Commonwealth Games later in the year, then you want to see how they're going to swim. These are the finals for this evening. The same events as today. The 200 AM for Hannah, the 400 freestyle for Robbie, the men's 200 breaststroke. They're all in there. 2 women in the 100 breaststroke already with the qualifying time from the heats. And that 4x200 exciting relay just to finish off and round off the final session. So I just want to remind you that you can get in touch with us and send in your tweets at hashtag SGNC2014. Facebook.com/Scottish Swimming. You can find us there. And pictures can come through Instagram on the same hashtag, SGNC 2014. Keep them rolling in, folks. We are enjoying them. Thanks for your support. So there you go. Get on YouTube, and session 6 begins at 17:30 BST, and we get to come back at 17:15 if you want to pick up our little promos and introduction to the session. We hope you'll join us. This is Drew Gordon. Thanks to Dave and all the sponsors, Speedo, Scottish Gas, Glasgow Life. Another session in the bag. Do join us later. But for now, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support.
Was great, but I'm getting ready to make 2014 even better.
It'll be a great night just to catch up, relax, and as a swimmer actually get to dress up and look normal.
And then a chance to see lots of people from all around different parts of swimming and have a good evening with them.
The awards ceremony was fantastic, with most people turned out ever, so years to come it's just going to get bigger and bigger.
So if you're in Aberdeen, 5th to 12th of April, come along, Aberdeen Sports Village. For more information at scottishswimming.com/CWPC 2014.